Hi, let's do some review of what decimal place values are. What decimal place values are they are digits anything to the right of the decimal place. So any digits that are in the tens place, in the hundredths place value, or the thousands place value, and it doesn't just stop there, numbers can even go after the thousands place value. Anything to the right of the decimal, there's the decimal, is considered a decimal place value. Anything to the left of the decimal, from the ones to the tens to the hundreds, thousands, and so on, is a whole number value. So any digits that are in these place values, again, to the left of the decimal, is not considered a decimal place value. Okay, so here's the trick to count the number of decimal place values in any number that you come across. You look for the decimal and then you underline anything to the right of it. So, for example, go ahead and get your whiteboard or your place value chart ready. If I gave you the number 6 and 58 hundredths, go ahead and write that out. You locate the decimal, so go ahead and point to the decimal on your whiteboard. And we're going to count anything again to the right. And we're going to underline as we do it. And we're going to count how many digits there are to the right of the decimal. So starting with the 5 and then the 8. How many digits did we just underline? 1, 2. In this number, 6 and 58 hundredths, there are 2 decimal place values. How come we did not underline the 6? The 6 is in the ones place value. So we look at the decimal. Anything, the first digit to the left of the decimal is the ones place value. This is a whole number. So this does not count as a decimal place value. Okay. Many of you are getting to be pros at decimal place values without the place value chart. If you're still struggling, I encourage you throughout any lesson, throughout any work that you're doing that involve decimals or even whole numbers, use the place value chart to help you out to better visualize what the digits stand for and what place value each of the digits is in. So again, we look for the decimal, count anything to the right of it to find how many decimal place values there are. Let's do another number. Let's do 8 and 2/10. How many decimal places are there in this number? We find the decimal, we count anything to the right. So we underline the digit 2. Go ahead and underline that with me. The 2 is in what place value? The tenths, and that's the only digit to the right, so we only have 1. Let's do another one on your whiteboard. Let's do how many decimal place values are in the number 408? What do you notice about this number that's different from these two? There is no decimal point. Why is there no decimal point? Well, this is a whole number. So oftentimes whole numbers don't have a decimal point because our reader can easily know what the place values are. And so starting over here on the left, 4 is in the hundreds place value, 0 is in the tens, 8 is in the ones. And we know with our understanding, there's basically like an invisible decimal here. If we put our decimal after the 8, it doesn't change the number. But that does signal to us, is there any decimal place values in this number? There's not. It's a whole number. There is 0 decimal places. And if I were to put that in my place value chart, 408 would look like this, invisible decimal right after the digit 8 in the 1 spot. Let's do one last number together. Let's do 14 and 7 thousandths. Go ahead and draw that on your whiteboard. How many decimal places are in this number? Find the decimal. We're looking anything to the right of it, and we're going to underline any digits that come after the decimal. 1, 2, 3. There are 3 decimal places and 14 and 7 thousandths. Yes, the 0 does still count. It's holding place value for the 7 thousandths here. Great. Thank you for following along.